from the Secretariat of the International Resource Panel. My name is Hala Razian. I will be here in listening mode and learning mode as you are as well, with Mayar Sabit from Sedare, who has been leading us in the use of a new software that the IRP is going to be using for our Global Resources Outlook peer review. So without further ado, I will hand over to Mayar, who will run through the tool for us and hopefully facilitate you as external expert reviewers' task of reviewing this very important report for the International Resource Panel. So Mayar, over to you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone, and good afternoon. Like Hala said, my name is Mayar Sabit. I'm with the Center for Environment and Development for the Arab region in Europe. We are an independent IGO based in Cairo, we were established back in 1992. And we've been a UNEP collaborating center for various UNEP initiatives for probably since our inception. And we have been involved in, particularly my department and myself have been involved in a multitude of environmental assessment reporting initiatives. And I'm going to be presenting the platform that we have developed in collaboration with partners in UNEP for reviewing, for peer reviews and intergovernmental reviews of UNEP's reports, particularly science policy reports, of course. I'm just going to go through a few slides just to show you how we came about this, just 2 or 3 slides, how we came about this platform, just to give you some background and context and why it's called GeoRead and all that. And then I will show you the reviewer module of the platform, so the part that you will be interacting with. So let me just start. Okay. So GeoRead is short for Global Environment Outlook Review Editing Database. It was developed in the beginning for the geo reports that UNEP produces, but it's been expanded and tailored in a way that it allows for reviewing pretty much any science policy report, and it allows for multiple configurations. So I'm going to talk a bit about how it evolved, the rationale behind it, objectives, as well as go through the reviewer module, like I said. So the idea behind READ was to enhance the integrity and transparency of the review process for geo and similar reports. It basically emerged out of the same need that review editing becomes essential for these kinds of reports. So the same reasons that you would want to enhance the review process with the addition of review editors is why you would want to rely on READ. It's an integrated solution that allows the Secretariat for the report to run the review from start to finish on the platform, while giving them lots of real-time oversight over the comments coming in, the responses of the authors, and so on, which allows for, again, timely intervention where needed, for example, with things like targeted messaging and recruitment of additional targeted reviewers, and so on and so forth. Sorry. The idea is to not just make this a more transparent review process, more comprehensive review process, easier one, but also to kind of use some of the things that being on a digital platform allows us to do. It started with a Sedare initiative during the development of the Geo6 report to enhance the review editing process and provide multi-criteria analysis, real-time multi-criteria analysis to all stakeholders. We collected a lot of feedback in order to develop and design READ. The feedback was not just on geo, it was actually on all review processes, and we collected it from multiple groups within and without the geo landscape. So we also collected feedback from the AGAD, the Ad Hoc Global Dialogue on Assessments, from multiple other secretariats of assessments, from authors who have worked on multiple assessments, from all sorts of stakeholders that have worked on assessments. And the feedback that we collected was on review processes as a whole, on the utility of review editing, on the idea, the classic offline review Excel sheets that most assessments and most reports out there use, as well as on the first initial version of the database that we had developed. Now, what we have is, like I said, an integrated solution that digitizes the work of reviewers, authors, review editors, and moderators. In fact, those are not the only 4 groups on the system, but what this way of organizing the work allows us to tailor the access of different stakeholders to the system. So some people will have access to 2 modules, 3 modules, depending on their basically job description, if you will, within the report. So for example, if you are an author of the reports, you will also be given access to the reviewer module, because we like to encourage authors to provide comments on chapters that they are not working on. So we give them access to the reviewer module so that they can submit such comments, that kind of thing. And yeah, now let's actually move on right away to the reviewer module. So let me do this. I will stop sharing this and move on to the system itself. Okay, just a second. I have too many screens open at this point. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes. So what you're looking at right now is just a testing version of the platform. The one that you will be actually using for the reports, you're going to get the URL in an email from Hala after this training, and it will be GRO24.gov.net. But don't worry, you'll get the URL from Hala. What we're going to do is we're going to create the usernames and passwords for everyone. They will basically be, your username is the email the main email you use to communicate with the IRP Secretariat. And the password is going to be a standard one for everyone. And then once you actually log in the first time, you can go in and change the password to whatever you're comfortable with. The first time you attempt to submit a comment, you will be asked to fill in a very brief reviewer profile. Let me show you. I think let me log out from this. Oh, I'm not logged in. That's good. Okay. You actually just say access drafts and submit comments. You won't have an apply button. You'll just have the access drafts and submit comments. And once you click and say new comment, this is when you'll get the application form. The application form is actually very simple and very short, and the point is to collect a bit of metadata about you that helps contextualize the comments that you're making. So of course, you fill in your name, you're a reviewer, you won't be answering this question, and then you will be choosing your capacity as an external reviewer or otherwise, your title, gender, nationality, country of residence, age group, and occupation. And really, if you want to only fill in the ones marked with an asterisk, which are the required ones, it should take you under a minute. If you wish, you can also list all your publications, and you can also upload a CV. And if you do that, that's the step that might take a little bit longer if you intend to do it. But if you just go with the minimum, it should take you under a minute. Maybe 2 if you're going to, like I said, fill in everything else and upload the CV. You complete this step only once. So one time you complete it, it gets tied to your account, and that's it. You're good to go for every time after that. Let me log in the way that you would log in and show you how you will be submitting your comments. Okay. So this is the home page, basically, like I said. There's an about screen, by the way. I should have started with that. And that has 4 brief tutorials for reviewers, authors, review editors, and moderators. Those are brief tutorials on the main functions of the system and how they are working, and how they are utilized by the different groups. This screen is open to anyone, so you can go and check them out at any time. You can check out other facets if you're only a reviewer, but you're curious about what authors do or review editors do, then you can check out those tutorials. The system was at first designed for a single blind review, but for your particular review, it will be double blind. So no worries about your personal information being shown to authors. It will not. We're going to anonymize the data. They will not be able to tell who you are when you are commenting. They will simply just see like a number assigned to each reviewer. Okay, and over here at this click here, there's a manual with a screen-by-screen, step-by-step screens for different basic tasks on the system that you might need to consult. It's designed as an FAQ, so it's very simple to use. But remember that your review is double blind, so some screens may look slightly different than what you see in that manual. Now, as a reviewer, like I said, you click on Reviewer, you click on Access Drafts and Submit Comments, and then you get this main landing page for you. You can download and search in the drafts from the first button. It's pretty simple. You can download one by one, or you can do a multi-selection and download everything at the same time with the Download Selected button. You may also want to search the draft. So for example, this was a food systems report, the data that we're looking at right now. It was a report on food systems being reviewed on READ. It's actually running on another version of the system that's live right now. So we will have two versions of the system, one for you and one for that other report at the same time, with completely separate databases and user access. So the different systems are siloed basically. But let's say if you wanted to search wheat, it will tell us that you can find information on wheat in these chapters. So this is also useful if you're looking for particular topics and wondering where they are in the report before you actually start reading those chapters. Now, the second two features are about your actual comments and how to submit them. Now, we'll look first on the Submit Comments button. This is the classic submission of comments. And this is how it looks because I don't have any comments yet, so I don't see any comments. But what you will do is you will click on New Comment, and you'll fill in this form. There's location data for the comment. You have to choose the chapter, the section, for example. I think chapter 1 of this particular one didn't have sections. Oh yeah, chapter 2, it has sections, page numbers, line numbers. If it's a box or a figure or a table, you choose that. If your comment is referring to one, and you put its number. And then here's the thing that's slightly new to some people, the comment category. So one of the hallmarks of READ is that it uses a comment categorization framework that was first developed by the review editing team for GRO6. What this does is it helps organize the comments a bit, and it helps the author and review editor and all these other entities that are looking at the review and trying to judge the quality of the report itself to understand where reviewers are coming from. And it's basically a group of comment categories that you just choose what you are looking into. Now, to understand what you are referring to, what they are, you click on the info button. Let me just download it on my desktop and I'll open it here. It's a very simple categorization. Okay, there we go. You can just download this, look at it a couple of times, and then you know what you'll be looking for. Editorial, that's pretty self-explanatory. And then what's a general structure and clarity comment? What's a comment for additional topics, references and data sources, data quality and data analysis, relevance, chapter design, presentation, introduction, discussion, and conclusion, scientific integrity, and general comments if your comment is a pretty general one on the chapter. Now, you just choose what comment category your comment refers to, write down your comment, and if you wish, you can also add in the second box maybe a link to a report that you think the author would like to should consult, Or if you would like to rephrase the lines that you are commenting on, you can suggest the rephrasing here, for example, and keep it separate for from your comments so that's clear. And then if you even wanted to send an additional report or data source or reference to the author that you feel like they should consult, but you know it's not necessarily easily accessible, maybe it's some sort of national report, then you can just upload it here and the author will receive it with the comment. Okay.
Mayar, just to jump
Yes.
in very quickly,
Yes.
to say that I think it's a function of the way this Teams meeting is set up, but whenever you click on one of the drop-down menus, we don't actually see
Yes.
the text, but there will be several options where people can click, right?
Yeah, I can show you, I can do this in a slightly different way. So, for example, for the chapters and sections, as you might, can you see the words all report now in the chapter
Yes.
box? Yes. So these are, I'm going to just scroll through the things that you would choose from. Is it a comment on the whole report? Is a comment on the executive summary, chapter 1, chapter 2, and so forth? And then let's say if you choose chapter 4, you click down the sections and it says, is it a comment on the whole chapter again? Or is it on 4.1, 4.2, and so on and so forth? And then, of course, for page numbers, you just input in the number. For boxes, figures, and table, you choose box or figure or table. And for the comment categories, let me again look through them or scroll through them. It's either editorial, general structure and clarity, additional topics and issues, references and data sources, data quality and data analysis, relevance, chapter design, analysis and approach, presentation, introduction, discussion and conclusion, scientific integrity, or general. And again, like I said, you can look through what those different categories mean so that you and the author are on the same page when you say that your comment is about something in particular. This is basically the only step that you may not have come across with previous reviews that have used the classic Excel sheet system. Now, one of the things, I hope, Hala, this made the form a bit clearer, right?
Yes, thank you so much, Mayar. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, let me cancel this. Now, once you have populated this with your comments, you may choose to export what you have done to an Excel sheet that you can keep for yourself. However, while the review runs, and I think for this review, it's in almost an exact month, right, Hala? The review starts on the 26th of June and ends, I think, the 24th of July, something like that.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So while the review runs, you can come back to this screen and edit or delete any of your comments as you see fit. So we're thinking you're reading chapter 2, you have a comment and you've put it in. And then as you move on to chapter 3, you realize that maybe your comment shouldn't have been there in chapter 2, or you would like to add something to it, or something like that. Or you've realized that it's already been dealt with in another section, or for whatever reason you realize, no, I actually don't want to submit my comment like this, I'm going to change it. You can just edit it and you will have an edit button next to it. Or if you want to delete it, you select the comment and you just say delete selected. And it will be deleted, it will not go to the author. So why is there not a submit button? Because basically what happens is when you have, when the review ends, anything that is saved on the system is submitted automatically for you to the authors and review editors and secretariat and so on. So you just leave your comments there and trust that the system will move them on once the review ends. And the reason for that, like we said, is we want to allow you the maximum time to add new comments, delete what you want, edit what you want, do what you want with your comments up until that last minute. And then everything that's there gets moved on. And once it gets moved on to the authors, then on this screen, you would be able to, okay, it's just the connection isn't as fast as I'd like. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. You can see you have this other screen where you see comments on earlier drafts. And then again, you can see the comments that you have submitted, but because we are this review, you need this screen, you will see your your comments here in the submit comments table, and you can always sort them by chapter, by section, by comment category, by page, or by the time you've modified it. So if you want to go back to the earliest comments you suggested, or if you want to go forward to the last comments you suggested, then you would just sort by modification time and it will be right there. I'm sorry that this particular profile doesn't have comments to show you, but the edit form is basically the same as the new comment form. So when you click edit, you'll get the same form pre-populated with what you've already entered, and then you can just change what you like there. Was that clear? Any questions about this part of the report of the system so far? I can't see if anyone is. Let me see if there are. Okay.
So far, so good on my end, Mayor.
Okay, great. Okay, so the other feature we have is a new one, and you will be the first to try it. So please just keep in mind that it's in beta form, but it's a much easier way for a lot of people to submit their comments, and we're calling it interactive commenting. So what you are doing, so what you would have done with the first instance is download the draft, you read it offline, you decide what are the comments you want to make, and then you go in and just keep adding new comment. And every time you add a comment, you can just say save and add new, save and add new. So you have that same screen in front of you, just renewing with a blank version for you to fill in a new comment and another one and then another one. The other way would be to read the document online. And I think, Hala, this is the first time that you also are seeing this, this feature. So when you go to interactive commenting, you'll see the drafts in front of you. Let's say you want to submit a comment on chapter 4. You'll see chapter 4 right there in front of you. And as you read, so this is more convenient for people who prefer to read online. Now, if someone prefers to read offline, they will probably go with the first option. But if you prefer to read online and just submit your comments right then and there, or save your comments right then and there, this is an easier option for you. So let's say you are reading and you decide that, well, this paragraph, I do have something I want to say about this paragraph. Double click the line number to the left of your screen, and then you click new comment. You get the same form, but it is pre-populated with the chapter number, with the page number, and with the line number. So all you have to do is choose the section that you're in. For example, this is section 4.1. And then you choose the comment category. Let's say it's scientific integrity. And then you insert your comment. Maybe let's not do something as harsh as scientific integrity. Let's go for something like chapter design, analysis, and approach. And let's say needs more detail, for example, to become clearer. I'm just putting in anything, basically. And then I am going to save my comment from this part. Now, one last thing about this comment form is that if you say that you are saying that there's a need for additional references and data sources, then you are required to add suggestions of additional sources of information here. Otherwise, the form doesn't require you to fill in that part. So if I'm going to stick to references and data sources, I'm going to show you what happens. When I say save, it says actually, because you haven't inserted the line numbers. Oh, it tells me everything I've missed. I've apparently missed more things. It's line numbers. And because I've used additional sources of information, then I need to add something in the information box. So I will add that it is the, whatever, 16, 17 line. And because I didn't select it from the beginning, I'll show you could have selected it from the beginning. And then I will add something here, check, let's say, Egyptian Ministry website. Yep. Okay, so if I click save, yep, it's accepted my comment now. Now, what if I wanted to comment on a table or a graph or a figure or something like that, then I would go to the table and do this. Now we are trying to tailor the system that it works pretty smoothly for the format that your particular report works with. So in this instance, it did identify that this is a table, and it identified the page numbers. And all I have to do now is add the section and add the comment category and write my comment. And then I just click, I'm gonna just cancel this one because I just want to show you the first comment that I inserted here. I'm going to close the file and let's go back to my comments. And there you go, the comment that I submitted on that chapter, it's already been moved here. It knew that it was chapter 4, like I said, I added the section and all this other information. If I want to read my comment, I click on the first couple of words and I see it in an accordion, and I can see all the data that I entered. And like I said before, I can always edit. Can you see this particular menu, edit and delete?
Yes, this one we can
yes.
see.
Yes, so if I were to edit the comment, I'll get the form again and I can edit what I want. For example, I've realized that there's a report I can upload and I can just go ahead and upload it at this point. Yes, and or if I wanted to delete it, I would just delete it here. And right now, if I were to export to Excel, I would be able to export it. So that's basically the two things that you as a reviewer have access to on the system. It's the access to submit your comments, whether it's through the classic form or through the interactive commenting option. Are there any? Yes.
Yeah, could you show us how to do with both starting line number and the ending line number? I think you had to manually input that one.
Yes. No, yes, I did have to do that, but actually, so this is the reason I'm saying that this is in testing, is that we are testing it with multiple formats of PDFs, and sometimes it works smoother than others. We're hoping that it will work even smoother with your particular report. That's why I asked you for a draft so that the developer can look at it and try to code that in. But if I were to do this, and let's say I've chosen multiple lines, so the trick here is to always make sure that you are selecting the line numbers with your comment. And then I add, and then I say add new comment. Oh, it didn't see the second one. See, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't always register all the line numbers, unfortunately. Okay, let me try it again. Okay. And see, I think it's because I went for a line that didn't. Yes. So it's because I had selected a few words from the line, but hadn't selected the line number next to it. So there's a slight learning curve, and it's not as smooth as we hope it is. It's still in testing. You can always, if it's not working for you well, you can just use the classic form, which is what actually all the other reviews on this system have used, and it has worked very well. But we feel like this will be easier for a lot of people as well. Yeah, that's it, basically. So now it recognized the line numbers because I made sure that I did select them.
Mayar, there's a question from Pia with her hand up. Pia, go ahead.
Sure.
Hi, I'd like to know whether we can use both systems in parallel.
What?
The interactive commenting and the offline commenting.
Yeah, they work in parallel. So if you were to input a few comments this way and a few comments the other way, it's fine.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So if, for example, a particular chapter, you're going to just skim through it online, you can do that. But another one, you want to sit down and actually read it with a cup of coffee in your hand or something, then you can input a few comments there. And they all get populated in the same place.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Let me ask you.
Sure.
Okay. First, you said that we can download those files as a PDF. And then, is there any protection for the PDF? I mean, can I hand out them, all of them?
That's for Hala to say, I think.
So far, there are no protections to the PDF, I believe, but I will confirm that with you. So you mean you'd like to insert some comments directly in the draft, for example, things like that?
Yeah, actually, when I want to print out them, then is there any protection for the printing out?
Mm-hmm.
No, you can print out. Yeah, it doesn't. Yes, that's what I see what you mean. No,
Okay,
it's not. It's not protected against printing. So if you wanted to print a hard copy for yourself to be able to read clearly, yes, that's fine. We
Good,
don't
good.
restrict it. Yes.
Okay.
I think there was maybe another hand raised.
I don't see one up.
Okay. Any other maybe questions or any other concerns from anyone? I think Pia again. Yes, Pia.
Yes, I have a question on the details of the review, just to be able to organize my work. Since we have a limited time for the review, how many pages does the report have in total?
So, Pia, thank you for that question. I'm just opening it up to make sure I have the latest version to hand. So the table of contents, if you give me one moment, has at the moment 186 pages for the full report. However, I know from reviewing the report that many of those are lists of references. So I would guesstimate that the total report is about 150 pages long right now.
Okay, so it's doable in a month.
Okay, I'm glad you feel that way. We have also asked you, as far as possible to review the whole report, but some of you have also been tapped to review certain chapters in case you feel your time might be limited. But I believe the data is really rich and interesting, so I hope you will find that as well, and we would welcome your comments to the whole report.
Yes, regarding that, Hela, that was my second question. So how many reviewers do you have for Latin America, so that perhaps I can focus my comments on that section if you don't have many reviewers there?
If you would allow me one moment, I will take a look at our final list and let you know.
Perfect.
I can include
Just
that
let me
in the
know how
chat.
can I be of better
Yes.
service to the review.
Perfect. I can include that information in the chat, Mayar, so that we can keep going.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So again, maybe pertinent to just to make something clear if it wasn't, is that reviewers are allowed, of course, to review any chapter. We don't restrict them by chapter because there are certain processes, I think, like IPCC, where reviewers are tapped for particular sections and chapters, and not the whole report or the whole working group report with the whole synthesis. For this particular report, no, you can access any chapter and you can submit comments on any chapter that you wish. If you are thinking on focusing on particular ones, that's fine. If you would like to submit comments on all of them, that's fine. And just to show you or to point out that if you are, for example, if you'd like to submit a comment on the whole process of the report as a whole in totality, then when you just say new comment, just make sure that you choose old report. And then, of course, there's no line numbers and page numbers and box number or whatever to add in. You just wanted to say something general point about the report, then you would do it here. Comments that are tagged as all report comments are addressed and looked at by the Secretariat and the lead authors, not all the other authors, just the lead authors and the Secretariat. So just keep that in mind, is that all report comments are only seen by the Secretariat and the lead authors and not specific authors of the chapters. Unless, of course, the Secretariat or lead authors decide to bring in a particular author from a chapter on it, then they would do that at that point. Okay, let me look back to, I wasn't sharing my screen at that point, but I think that was, let's see, I'll just show it briefly. Okay, so this is what I was referring to. When you click New Comment, you just choose All Report, and it dims out all those boxes for location because it's a general comment on the whole report. That's basically the point that I was making. Okay, and if I were to click Save and Submit New Comment here, like I said, it would just open. Let me show you. Let me say it's a relevance. Let's say we're saying not relevant to topic. Of course, this is unlikely to be someone's comment, but I'm just adding in something. And like I said, it's all reports, so I don't need to add anything else. And I say Save and Submit New Comment. I automatically get the new comment form, and I don't have to click and open it again. And like your question, Pia, as you can see, this was the first comment that I submitted on the actual interactive commenting, but then this one I submitted on using the form. So they all get populated in the same place. Yes, sorry. Okay, was that clear? Are there any other questions or concerns?
For instance, is there a possibility to see the comments from other reviewers?
No.
Okay.
Yes, reviewers only see their own comments. In terms of reporting on the review process, in the end, I think the Secretariat makes decisions about how to review how to report on the review process in that sense. If you will eventually find something out about the totality of the review, it will be through the Secretariat. Of course, if anyone runs into any difficulties with access or anything else, you can send the help inbox. It's georead@sidari.int, and you'll have it in the email with your access information. The email that will explain to you how to access the system will also have that email in it, so that you can send us any concerns that you have, or you can even send me directly, msabit@sidari.int. I'm fine with you sending me your own comments. And also, if you just have any feedback on the system after you've used it, or you have any suggestions, or you have any issues with using it, feel free to send me an email. I think I'll just add my email in the chat box here, just in case you would like to contact me directly with any concerns or issues, or with any feedback that you might have after you use the system. As I mentioned, it's already been used to review some smaller documents, but also a full review of another UNEP report that's currently actually running in its second draft on the report. And we've really had very little issues from anyone using it. In fact, everyone has been saying that it's been a smooth process. Just follow the instructions in the email to be able to access it the first time, and then everything will go fine from there. Okay, I can't see any more questions, Hala. What do you think? Do you have anything else you'd like me to add?
From my side, it is all clear. As I wrap up, if anyone thinks of any last-minute questions, please feel free. And Mayar, thank you for sharing your email. And after this call, we will circulate to you some further information about the link to access the site, which will not be active until Monday in any case. So Monday the 26th is when the review will start. And from then on, you can dive into the content. And if you have any trouble, please do reach out to us. Just to say how happy we are at the IRP Secretariat to be able to benefit from this software. I think it's going to facilitate our peer reviews. And I was really excited to see the kind of integrated commenting tool, which was also new to me. So that's very exciting. And I'm really looking forward to everyone's comments on this product, which we are really proud of and which we want to only make better with your critical inputs. So thank you, Mayar, and your team for helping us to
Thank
do
you.
this in a more modern way. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate, everyone. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you for
We will
listening
now
in.
close the session.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.